Hello and welcome to the International School of Traders. Welcome to our first ever weekly market review. My name is Mbugumti. I'm the CEO and founder of the International School of Traders. Thank you so much, guys, for coming through. We're going to be calling this weekly market review. And then we're going to say what the hell happened in the Forex market this week. I believe we can say what happened in the Forex market this week. We're going to look at the news, we're going to look at the charts, we're going to look at the trades that we took also and see what sort of a week that we had. I think we can expect, some advancements after this. We're going to see how this show goes or how this session goes. And then moving forward, we're going to start advancing from there. Okay, it's our first ever. It's like, let's call it episode one. Call it episode one. Okay, cool. What happened in the markets this week? First of all, I'm gonna look into the news. Let me remove my glasses so that we can have a clear look in terms of what happened in the market. So earlier this week, on Monday, right, on the 11th of July, 2022, we had a couple of news that came from Japan. Those are just light or just medium impact news that we had. We had a smooth day on Monday in terms of the news. Nothing much that came through, especially from what we can expect. Those how Mondays are in the market. They can be very slow. Not many important news might come through. You're expecting markets to start, reshuffling itself or putting itself together because the market has been closed for 2 days. So it's like, hey, listen, I wanna correct, I wanna go back to my original structure. Let me go back into some good structures. So in terms of the news that what happened on Monday, moving to Tuesday, which is more like a day where we had a couple of things going on. We had the German economic sentiment. The German economic sentiment is the one that came out negative, and those are the news that came out and affected the euro. I believe those are the news that also affected, how the euro has been perfecting, how the euro has been performing throughout this week. We've seen a weaker euro. I've seen a weaker euro throughout this week, especially against the dollar. So I believe this is one of the news that played a major role on that. Okay, cool. Now, looking at other news as well, some positive news from South Africa in terms of the manufacturing production year on year, but negative on the manufacturing production on month. So that's one of the things to look out for in the next to 4 to 6 months and how it's going to play out in the economy and also in the market as well, right? Cool. Looking at other things that happened on Tuesday, we had a couple of speeches and the short-term energy outlook that came out in the US on Tuesday. That was kind of a better day, sort of. But in terms of taking some trades, I'm going to be discussing that as well. Um, we looked into the next day, which was now Wednesday, just 2 days ago. New Zealand interest rates decision came out as expected, right? Came out as expected. Those are the news that were moving the markets on Wednesday. Then we had a couple of news after that. We had some German CPI coming out on Wednesday. Well, this was a beautiful day according to me, according to the news actually that were coming out. And also in Britain, we had GDP quarter on quarter and year on year, which came out as positive. That is gross domestic product in the US, right? Okay, not in the US, in Britain, right? We saw some French CPI, also Spanish CPI, which are some of the news that you can also look at into the future. Say, hey, these are some of the news that I can also look at. But hey, when it comes to the euro, I look at Germany in most cases. I'm looking at Germany and I'm like, listen, if something bad is happening in Germany, then I can be. And it's moving. You just missed the trade he was planning because he was now timesing one pound times Japanese yen. Okay, cool. So we continue with this and we look at some retail sales that came out in South Africa, came out to be very bad. I believe this is because of fuel prices going up. Fuel price is above 26 rand now, which is close to $2 per gallon or per liter. Actually, it's close to $2. It's just above $1.50, I believe. So that's very bad, and that is why you see some retail sales coming out as negative. I'm expecting a lot of things to come out as negative moving forward in South Africa, also in the CPI, PPI, whatsoever. Cool. We also had some other news as well. I believe the core CPI in the US came out positive. It's one that is pushing the dollar as well, making Bitcoin to continue falling down. Interest rates in Canada came out to be very positive as well, according to what we are looking at. Also gave the Canadian dollar a little bit of hard time in terms of shrinking there, because we can see that the Bank of Canada is trying to cover up for the inflation that is happening at the moment. So that is why they are increasing interest rates at this season. So look at also other things. Crude oil inventories came out negative this week. And then moving to the next day, which was Thursday now, we look into that was yesterday actually. We look into employment change. Employment change in Australia came out to be positive, very positive. That is why the unemployment rate came out to be positive, which was less than the expected, right? It was less than the expectation and less than the previous. So we can learn something from this one. Came out to be, very positive, and also that is why we were selling GBP according to price action as well, GBP AUD, because the Australian dollar is gaining strength, right? So putting some price action with fundamentals there, it's a little bit of power. Not everybody is doing that. Okay, but it is as I'm saying it, right? So cool. There is some Australian news yesterday in the morning on Thursday, on the 14th of July, and then we also received some mining production and gold production in South Africa. Mining production came out to be it was positive, a little bit positive than the expectation. But hey, I'm still not happy. It's okay. Let's move. We move. And then also came out some news yesterday, which was PPI. Came out to be positive. The US has been doing very good over the last couple of days in terms of the news. Came out to be very positive. Core PPI also came out to be positive as well. So yeah, let's see, man. Initial jobless claim came out as negative, and then continuing jobless claims came out to be positive as well yesterday. Then coming to today, we have seen a couple of news this morning, and then we are expecting nothing later on except for export price index in the US at 2:30. So we might expect a kind of a smoother Friday, especially in terms of the news items. Let's see how the market goes throughout the day. But in terms of the expectation, not expecting much from the fundamentals. So let's look into some trades that we had earlier this week, and then I'm gonna start off by looking at I believe ADSD, which is the trade we took on the ADSD, which is a trade that we took on Monday. I believe that's where we need to start. Okay, that's AUD, USD, right? AUD, USD. What's going on here? USD. So AUD, USD. One of the trades that we looked into this week was a successful trade. I'm gonna show you the setup here as well. If you look at it on a 1 hour time frame, we had our sell limit here, and then the trade went to be successful. After triggering the sell limit, went straight into positive or taking profits. We did close with some good profits here the following day, which was a good one. Now, the next day, we had We had the GBP JPY buy limit order, right? And now that's where the thing starts, because that is the 12th of July. GBP JPY. I don't know what happens on my side. I start sending some good signals and then tell people, hey, it's okay now. We can close it. And GBP JPY. So GBP JPY is one of the trades that we looked into. And then I'm going to share with you what we had on this particular day. I'm going to go into a smaller time frame, or just go to 1 hour time frame. Okay, so this is what happened throughout the week, right? So my expectation was to say that the market is going to come down. Let me see if the market is going to allow me to do this. So let's do this. Let's do a replay on this trade. Um, so we're about here, right? Cool. And they want me to do some retrial, blah, 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 whatever. So, okay, cool. So this is where we were. We're taking a trade around this area and saying, hey, we are buying, expecting market to come down to this area and then continue to this area for our take profit. And then our stop loss was slightly below this area, which was, perfect stop loss. Then the market started going down, and then I was like, you know what, this trade is not doing the way I'm expecting, but did not hit our stop loss. Continue going to entry now. When the trade went to entry, that is where I was like, you know what, let us close with at entry, meaning we're not losing anything, because I'm expecting market to continue towards the downside now, right? Cool. Then I told the guys, say, hey, close the trade at entry. Cool, but Marco still holds on to the trade and he did take profit. Good trade. Thank you so much, my brother. That was a killer trade. Cool. So that was a killer trade for him. So we took profit. Now we're starting to sell. That is where we hit stop loss when we were selling, right? Cool. Now there is no problem there as long as you have, good risk management. Market went straight to where we are expecting. Very, very, very important. Very, very important. Very, very important. And now the market goes to where we were expecting it to go. It does go there. And then we had another trade yesterday, now, which we had there for the last couple of weeks. We've been discussing this trade and looking to what's going on. We have a sell on GBP and it's doing well. It's in profits, right? It's doing well. It's in profits. That is good news on GBP throughout this week. So still going to expect the market to continue to have the downside. Let's go to 4 hour time frame. Look into what's been happening there. So according to the 4 hour time frame, we're still expecting markets to continue further down, to some very important levels over the next couple of days as well. So GBP you gave me some hard time, but it's all good. Next time, I'm gonna stick to the plan. Stick to the plan. But anyway, that was a good one. So we move on to the next one. I believe we had USD CAD, where USD CAD was another, some sort of a disappointer this week in terms of the trade. So we had a good 8 USD and then good GBP JPY and also a bad GBP JPY. So let's balance 2 good and 1 bad. And then we look into USD. I'm looking at this one, right? I'm looking at USD CAD. So, USD CAD, we had a couple of things going on, right? Some things happen in mysterious ways. USD CAD. Now, because of the news that came out to be positive earlier this week, the US dollar did not do as I was expecting, right? So on this particular trade right here, I was expecting markets to come down to this area and change direction and go for the take profit before going further down. But what did the market do? Trigger the entry. Okay, we are in profit. We are okay. Then the news come out, go to stop loss first, and then go to take profit. So that was like, what? Leave it right there, leave it right there, leave it right there. The market has been performing very good for the US dollar over the last couple of days. You can see that the market has gained a little bit of strength throughout the week. So it's not a bad day, it's not a bad day, not really a bad day, but these are the things that we look into and say that it is better that I used proper risk management, because if I didn't, I was gonna be child big time. Yeah. Okay, cool. It's much better if you do some admission. Do an admission, admit that you are wrong, move on. Move on, then, cool. Okay, so let's go. We move on to the next trade, right, that we took earlier. I think after these two trades, I was like, you know what? Let me back down a bit. Let me go back a bit. Let me go back. Let me relax. Take it slow. Take it easy. So, okay, cool. And after that, we had two signals yesterday. It was yesterday. Now things are now moving back, according to what we were expecting. GBP JPY, which is now in profit. Are you the one who closed the trade? No, it's a USD. Okay, sorry, man. Sorry. Sorry. No, but I stopped. Yeah. I stopped. Okay, but overall, that's risk management, my G. I don't want to. Very important. Hey, Omar here, guys, is making some big moves here. Okay, the last one, not the last one. After that, we had GBP JPY, which I shared with you guys, saying we are selling at the moment and it's doing good. And yesterday, we also posted another signal, GBP AUD, very important trade, which is also still in profit, doing very, very well. GBP AUD is still doing well as well. It's one of the trades that we posted out yesterday, and it's still doing well. And the ratio there is 1 is to 2.8, which is close to 1 to 3, which is very good. So this is a pretty much good trade. Good GBP JPY, bad GBP JPY. Good AGSD, bad USD CAD, right? That's a balance. Good GBP JPY, good GBP AD. I think those are the 6 trades, right? 6 trades overall. 4 were good, 2 were bad, and that's good. That's very proper. So 5 to 10 signals a week is what we are doing, and we're giving you a free trial to say, come and have some time with us as we trade, and as we experience that adrenaline as well. Like, so look at this. Somebody is drinking energy drink, espresso, some sparkling water, so that when the trade goes negative, it goes into positive. Yeah. Okay, good. So yeah, that's what happened this week, and I'm expecting next week to be much better as well. We're going to do some analysis with the guys tomorrow on the free session in Rosebank. We're going to be having a nice, beautiful session there in Rosebank. So don't miss out on that one. Please make sure that you're contacting us on 067-147-3701 if you are in South Africa. And then we do have a 2 weeks trial group, which we have. So you come, get all this information. And the next week on Monday, I believe we are going to have an online Forex masterclass. I believe that's what we're going to have next week on Monday, if everything goes well. If not, going live on social media. Now, thank you so much, guys. We had a beautiful week. I am going to see you on the other side of the withdrawals. Shalom. What the hell happened this week in the Forex market?